Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, I want to give a quick word of thanks to my supporters on Patreon and those who also support via YouTube's Super Thanks feature. I'm determined not to monetize the channel. I don't want ad revenue. I also don't want viewers to have any more ads than necessary on YouTube. Also, I don't want to give anyone the pleasure of demonetizing me, which always happens to channels like this eventually anyway. So thank you for your support. You work hard, day after day, week after week, month after month. You work. What don't you do enough? That's right, vacation. I know you want to go here, your family wants to go there. Nobody can decide. Fear not, I, your trusted travel advisor, have a destination the whole family will enjoy. Hamas terror tunnels. Wait, don't let the name fool you. It's not what you think. Hear it from my trusted travel colleague, Erin Burnett.
We know these tunnels have ventilation. We know that they've been known to have air conditioning. This has all been reporting that we've heard from the Israelis over the years. But the fact that she's saying she was held underground for more than 2 weeks, that there was shampoo, there was antibiotics, there was a guard per hostage in the experience she had, that there were medics and paramedics, and obviously she is elderly. The other woman who was released also elderly and had medical needs, and that they had the medicine needed, and if not, something similar to replace it. It is pretty stunning because you got to contrast that with what's happening above the ground, right? Where there isn't water, never mind shampoo, okay? They don't have water, they're using toilet water. There is no morphine for any kind of amputations. Antibiotics, no, right? But Hamas had stockpiled all of that and has all of that underground, and that's what we're learning from her.
I told you it's not what you think. It's basically a vacation with full amenities. There's ventilation because if there wasn't, everyone would die. There's air conditioning because everyone knows after a long day of restocking the old rocket supply and raping women that there's nothing like climate control. There's one guard per hostage. One attendant per vacationer to keep a close eye on everything. There are medics and paramedics. There are paramedics and medics. There's also medicine. It's basically full health care. It's so helpful for those times when your hosts blow up their own hospitals and then blame Israel. When that happens, all of the medical care is down in the tunnel with you and your personal attendant. And don't ask why you would need the medical care in the first place. Don't you love mainstream media telling us the terror tunnels aren't so bad at all? There's a link to this article in the description box. It's Ayman Ibrahim writing for WNG.org, giving us some background on the terror tunnels. After gaining the majority of votes against the Palestinian Authority in 2006, Hamas took control of Gaza and began digging a web of tunnels with the goal of creating routes from Gaza into Israel and Egypt, the two countries bordering Gaza. Recent reports estimate the Gaza Strip has a chain of over 1,300 tunnels that run underground for over 310 miles. This chain is known as Gaza's Metro, and it runs under a small area, roughly twice the area of Washington, D.C., with over 2.1 million people. Some tunnels are roughly 2 yards high and similarly wide and located as deep as 200 feet underground. These tunnels brought crime to Egypt and weapons into Gaza as Palestinians used them for smuggling. Palestinians also used the tunnels to stage attacks against Egyptian soldiers and civilians. In 2011, during the revolution against then-President Mubarak, many supporters of Hamas entered Egypt through these tunnels and supported the Muslim Brotherhood's elevation to power. Israel attempted to bomb and bury... Wait, that says Egypt. Egypt attempted to bomb and bury the tunnels. It's so odd, whether they're building a border wall or they're bombing tunnels or they're preventing Palestinian refugees from entering the country, it just doesn't seem like Egypt has gotten the same scrutiny as Israel over the years. It's probably nothing. Egypt attempted to bomb and bury the tunnels, but the network is complex and still exists. It's well known that Hamas uses Gazans as human shields in more ways than one, even operating out of the basements of hospitals. So it should be no surprise if these terror tunnels that both Egypt and Israel have tried to destroy ran underneath indoctrination centers, which some people call schools. The UNRWA, which is in charge of perpetuating the Palestinian refugee crisis as a PR weapon against Israel, has several anti-Semitic indoctrination centers in Gaza. And guess what happened a couple of years ago? Israel bombed one of them. That's right, Israel bombed a school. With no advanced warning. Now, what country besides Israel is supposed to give advanced warning before striking a terrorist target? With no advanced warning, in May 2021, the Israeli Air Force conducted strikes that caused damage to UNRWA installations. Most notably, they struck a school. However, no displaced persons were inside the school at the time of the strike, and no physical injuries were caused. It's almost as if Israel was trying to minimize civilian casualties while eliminating a terror threat. Notice how this is phrased. The UNRWA discovered the existence of a possible tunnel in the context of the investigation of the fired missiles. So this report from the UNRWA tacitly admits that there was a terror tunnel under the school, but it was found in the context of, whatever that means, an investigation of fired missiles. Run a tunnel under a school, Israel strikes when the school is empty, blame Israel for striking the empty school above the terrorist tunnel. It's the same PR stunt over and over and over again. When trying to check these schools for all things terrorism, Hamas has been known to block inspectors. At other times, hand grenades and rockets have been found in these schools, and of course, multiple tunnels have been located under multiple schools in recent years. At one Gazan school, the IDF located 14 underground rocket launch pads. And more recently, Hamas has proudly released its terror tunnel videos on social media. The tunnels are increasing in sophistication, and Hamas appears as proud of them as they are of the Israelis they butchered and also recorded and put on social media. The terror tunnels are yet another opportunity for people to wake up and acknowledge the goals of Islamic terrorists and the resolve with which they pursue them. Moving forward, Israel's military objective is to eliminate Hamas, an objective that will meet its greatest resistance in those tunnels. If Hamas keeps its promise, the remaining hostages will be the first to die when the IDF advances. If Israel keeps its promise, there will be no more Hamas. Less terrorism is better for everyone, but getting there will be difficult and full of tragedy. Eradicating evil always is. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.